tear or so-called degenerative changes of the spine can occur in a variety of locations, most commonly in the neck and low back regions. They can cause a variety of symptoms ranging from back or neck pain to arm and leg pain, and sometimes even be associated with neurologic deficits such as numbness and or weakness. Initial management of such conditions involves initial trials of non-operative care. These can include anything from physical therapy, traction, to a trial of injection. It's only when these non-operative measures fail that surgery can at times become a reasonable option for patients. In the neck, degenerative changes such as a disc herniation can occur over a single level or over several levels. They can also vary in severity and also in location. If a disc herniation occurs centrally in the neck or cervical region, it can cause pressure on the spinal cord. This in turn can cause either arm or leg symptoms, ranging from weakness to incoordination to gait imbalance. If a disc herniation occurs on the side, either on the right or the left, it can cause arm symptoms on that particular side. This can also range in nature from pain to numbness to weakness. Treatment is tailored to the specific scenario, depending on the duration of symptoms, the severity of symptoms, and the imaging findings. Wear and tear related changes occur most commonly in the low back area involving the lumbar spine. These changes can include wear on the discs, the joints, and the ligaments supporting the integrity of the spine. A disc herniation, as is shown here, can occur, for instance, on one side. In this situation, we would often see back pain with associated leg pain. In more severe cases, there can also be associated numbness and or weakness involving that side. At Ohio State, we particularly specialize in treating complex spinal disorders. These can involve a variety of deformities of the spine. Broadly speaking, a deformity involves an abnormal curvature of the spine, either in the neck, thoracic, or lumbar areas. Depending on the nature and severity of the symptoms and the imaging findings, a tailored treatment program is initiated, often initially involving non-operative measures such as physical therapy and injections. In cases that do not respond to such measures, surgical intervention is offered as an option.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Chronicles with your host, the socially awkward nerd Christian Paul speaking. And my oh my, back pain galore. People literally losing their mind due to the ouches, and people literally walking funny due to everything that's going on up in the lumbar. And I found a data set that's actually some very intriguing when it comes to that type of study. Let's roll with it, shall we? Juicy! So ladies and gentlemen, we are in the data set of the Radiological Society of North America, stemming from a feature code competition that deals with the degeneration of the lumbar spine. So they're basically dealing with a classification study in which they're classifying the lumbar spine degenerative conditions, and they basically utilize to go to competitions, create models that can be used to aid in the detection and classification of degenerative spine conditions using lumbar spine MR images, mid-radiological images, magnetic resonance images for short. Which competitors will develop models that simulate a radiologist's performance in diagnosing spine conditions. When you look below, they have the description basically titling low back pain is the leading cause of disability worldwide according to the World Health Organization, and it basically can cause issues that happen to anybody of any age. and basically 619 million people have been affected. Most people experience low back pain at some point in their lives, with the frequency increasing with age. Pain, restricted mobility, often symptoms of spondylosis, which is a set of degenerative spine conditions, including degeneration of intervertebral discs and subsequent narrowing of the spinal canal, which is spinal stenosis, subarticular recesses or neuroforamen with associated compression of irritations of the nerves in the lower back. Magnetic resonance imaging, MR magnetic resonance, provides a detailed view of the lumbar spine, vertebrae, disc, and nerves, enabling radiologists to assess the presence and severity of these conditions. Proper diagnosis and grading of these conditions help guide treatment and potential surgery to help alleviate back pain and improve overall health and quality of life for patients, in which the RSNA has seen with the American Society of Neuroradiology, ASNR, to conduct this competition, exploring whether artificial intelligence, AI, can be used to aid in the detection and classification of degenerative spine conditions using lumbar spine magnetic resonance images. The challenge will focus on the classification of 5 lumbar spine degenerative conditions: left neuroforaminal narrowing, right neuroforaminal narrowing, left subarticular stenosis, right subarticular stenosis, and spinal canal stenosis. For each imaging study in the dataset, we provide severity across scores across normal, mild, moderate, severe for each of the 5 conditions across the intervertebral disc levels: L1, L2, L2, L3, L3, L4, L4, L5, and L5S1. I personally have the L5S1. I've been dealing with like a lower herniated disc. That's basically L5S1 for short. Dealing with a slip disc recently, and I've been actually taking better care of my lower back, doing the best I can, actually turn to the best of my ability. So I'm no stranger to this type of ordeal personally. To create the ground truth data sets, RSNA Challenge Plan Task Force collected imaging data sourced from 8 sites on 5 continents. This multi-institutional, expertly curated dataset promises to improve standardized classification of degenerative lumbar spine conditions and enable development tools to automate accurate and rapid disease classification. And they basically have competitive challenges, deal with prediction of probabilities and everything else. So we're not going to focus more on the coding competition. And we want to try and give the challenge acknowledgments to the folks that actually developed this competition here, which is actually very unique and actually very appreciative that this literally went down. But we're not going to go through the competition. We're actually going to go through basically like a subset of that particular competition on how they're able to get the numbers that they mainly have. But back pain is no joke, man. Like a wrong slippage of the disc and you mess up one wrong nerve, it could definitely lead to paralysis. You could definitely be at risk of actually losing bodily functions. EG is definitely one of them. You know what I'm saying? You can't even get as hard as you mainly used to when it comes to like phallus hardening and everything else. You know what I'm saying? You can't really actually deal with scrambled eggs, sexual healing as you will. None of that stuff comes by. That stuff could really be taken away from you, which could be a possibility.
Sexual healing, baby.
Definitely probably a possibility of having a hard time moving, having a hard time stretching as well, losing so much strength between your legs when you don't actually treat it down to the proper T. Focusing on make sure you actually get it properly done, actually get it properly rehabilitated in order for you to actually avoid surgery down the line, because God forbid you deal with surgery, you could have some very, very worse repercussions in the years to come. Very, very sad stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So now, let's go dig into the subset on how some of these competitors actually manage to get down with their numbers and what they do. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, now that we have the RSNA information down, we're going to go into the lumbar coordinate data set that's derived from the RSNA 2024 Lumbar Spine Degenerative Classification Competition. Alright, so basically want to give a huge shout out to Barley here from Kaggle that actually put all this stuff together. Basically they included improved coordinates for the RSNA 2024 data, in which they add coordinates on the left side of each lumbar disc in the sagittal plane, which will provide useful orientation information for each disc that's up in the spine. So we got LSD, Spider, T-Seg, OSF, and we have all the data and information that's shown here. So we have 2 CSV files that came out of that data set that's shown coordinates pre-training, coordinates RSNA that's improved. So they're basically two separate CSV files that we could actually try to look at through Tableau, which we will be doing in future videos to come. Now, first off, what we're going to be doing, we're going to actually do some very deep learning when it comes to all of the data pictures that they mainly have processed below. So all of these processed photos, they basically derived those and actually converted those into JPG photo sets, so that all the images will actually be thoroughly be analyzed on Python, right? So the next video that we're actually going to be that's definitely discussing on this, we're going to be discussing some of the dark deep learning methods. We're going to utilize deep learning and actually analyze deeply those images that have been shown to see whether or not those models have been pre-trained or that have been dealt with to efficiency. That's going to be the first video. Now, the second video, we'll be discussing more with those CSV files that we will definitely examine in Tableau and do some more deeper digging with regards to that. So that's going to be the next couple of videos basically moving forward up in this series. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a very, very juicy ride. It's going to be a very interesting ride literally down the stretch to actually dig and actually play with all of this useful information that comes with, back injuries, lower back issues, herniated disc issues, literally the whole 9 yards. Hopefully we'll be able to actually get some further information of this, given this data set, as to what's really going on when it comes to the data sets that RSNA mainly give us. So let's have some fun.
Juicy.